Hey guys, wanted to do a quick video on this Bernzomatic self-igniting torch. Had a problem with it, took it apart, figured it out, put it back together, and now it works again. So I thought I'd walk you through what I did to fix this in case somebody else has the same issue. Now these things are like 40 bucks in my area, not counting the tax and the 23-mile one-way ride to get one. I took it apart and figured it out, and I'll show you basically what I did. I hope you guys can see. I'm not in a very good filming area, but it's cold outside and I'm doing the best I can for this. You're going to need a couple of tools. You're going to need an Allen wrench, a pair of cutters, a pair of pliers, and if you have a pick, I really recommend a pick. This makes it a lot easier. So what you're going to want to do is there's a Allen set screw in this brass part. You're going to want to take that all the way out. Don't lose it. You'll be bummed out. You're going to want to take off this end piece. And again, I'm really hoping that y'all can see and I can keep everything in the screen. Now inside of here, I'm not sure you can see that with the terrible lighting, but I'll explain it a little bit better. I don't know if you can pick up the little spark in there through the video or not, but that's what ignites the torch. When I took this cap off originally and I looked in there clicking the trigger, there was no spark. So I thought maybe the piezo inside of this handle went bad, but that wasn't the case. So after you take out that set screw, you can take this top piece apart. And again, I don't know if you can see that, but when you pull the trigger, this spring that's in here on top of the piezo will arc to something metal around it. In this case, it's the lock for the trigger. Okay, so that let me know that the trigger and the piezo mechanism and all that was good. So the problem had to be north of that. In the end of that, it has this plastic piece with this brass cap on top of it. So take off that brass cap. This plastic piece will also slide up and off. It will expose the wire underneath. The blue wire is my replacement wire, and this green one is the one that was in there originally. Take your pliers, take off this 90-degree brass elbow, for lack of better words, and pull it off of the wire, set it aside for the time being. Now here's what I found in mine. Using a pick or something similar, inside of here is this spring kind of loaded clip, bracket, holder, whatever you'd like to call it, that holds the wire up top. What I found was the original wire is crimped into this ring, and the crimp was so darn tight that over time, I'm guessing the crimp pressure slowly eroded the insulation on the wire, causing it to short out. So the spark, even though it was working in the handle, was shorting out against the body of the nozzle, causing it to not spark at the end. So holding it like this, I pulled that wire out, and that's when I saw the problem. I'm sure you can't see it on the video, but it's right here where it originally was. So using this pick, it's tapered. I enlarged that hole inside of this clip so that it opened one end a little bit more than original and left the other end pretty much the way it was. That allowed me to feed the wire back through the wide end, and the smaller end will hold it in place without any worries. So with all that information, what you want to do is, oh, and I should mention that the piece of wire that was in there doesn't appear to be copper. It might be steel. It's pretty hard wire. It's not very malleable like copper is. And I happen to have a piece very similar in size and composition, but I'm sure copper wire would work. So we're gonna just nip the end of that off, bare just a little bit more of the wire. Okay. Now once you get your piece of wire set up and ready to go, what I would do is feed it back through your 90, leaving about that much stick out of the threaded end, or I'm sorry, opposite the threaded end. Okay, and then you're going to put your wire back through here, put your wire back through there, and keep feeding it until it comes out the other end. And people have been blowing up my phone today like crazy. Okay, once you have your wire sticking through, go ahead and tighten your 90-degree elbow back down. And you're going to want to make sure that's very nicely aligned here, so that when you plop it back onto the handle, it slides right in without any issues. This is the tricky part, because you really don't want to pull the wire out of the bottom, but you want to put this clip in first. I found that the easiest way to do that. As I said, I did this before and then made the video after the fact. I didn't want it to be a failure and waste the time making a video that I was never going to publish. Okay, so what I did is I pulled a little bit of the insulation through the ring in that clip, and then I'm going to press that back into ever so slightly till it's about flush. Now what you want to do is put a 90-degree bend in the wire so that it's not touching anything metal when you put it back inside. Then using your tool, press that back in. It goes down maybe a quarter of an inch, and it's easier if you do one side, switch to the other side, switch to the other side until you get it all the way down. So once you get it all the way in, make sure your wire isn't touching anything internally. Otherwise, like I said, you're not going to get an arc, and it still won't work. Okay, with your pliers, grab the other end here and pull that through just until the insulation is even with the edge of the, I know the lighting sucks, I'm trying to watch this and do it at the same time, so that the insulation is even with the edge. Make it stick out about, I know I said the insulation even with the edge, but that's not really what you want. You want the insulation probably 1/8 of an inch past the edge, like that. And then you're going to put your plastic piece back on. And twist the wire so that it'll fit through the little hole in your plastic piece here. And you'll see all of this if you wind up doing one. Make sure the wire comes out of the plastic piece. Press that down all the way. Then fold over your bare wire. Take that little piece that you took off in the beginning, that cap, and force it over the wire into place. And that's basically about it. Then you can take your housing, put it back together, put your set screw back in, which is a lot easier to do if you put it on your Allen wrench, Allen key first. Make sure you're seated all the way because there is a ridge in there that set screw catches on. Tighten it down. You don't have to get crazy with how tight it is. And then click it and check it. And that's all there is to it, for mine anyway. And again, once you make sure your piezo is working by letting it arc to something metal with this piece off, then you look down here, and if you don't see a spark, you know you have the same problem as I did. So, hope this helps somebody out. It saved me probably $43 and well over an hour of driving time. So you guys enjoy your Sunday and stay safe out there. Take care.